Take back control. Stop letting algorithms decide your news. Get uncensored history and real knowledge to strengthen your mind, body, and spirit. Watch ad-free content now at ineverknewtv.com premium. Burkina Faso and its president, Ibrahim Traoré, have recently drawn significant international attention, right? Why is control over Burkina Faso and its resources so important to European powers?
Similar to Haiti, what do the Burkina Bay people have? They have a whole lot of gold, but it's what they represent. And this is my honest opinion. There's a certain fear, much like that we saw in Haiti. We're starting to see the same thing with what Burkina Faso is representing to the world of African people, as well as their leader, much like Dessalines, much like Thomas Sankara, much like Patrice Lumumba, Sékou Touré, any African leader who stands upright. Once again, there's a reason why Thomas Sankara...
Upright, man.
Yes, come on, brother. There's a reason why Thomas Sankara calls Upper Volta and renames it Burkina Faso, land of upright people. In other words, he understands that we can't bend over to our oppressors who kept us under their thumb. And once again, I have to commend Goche in Mali for leading the revolution along with Niger and the Sahel states, because this young brother, at the age of 37, did more for his country than anybody else. In a matter of just 2 to 3 years, to transform his nation, make free education. So once again, not necessarily remove Islam, but to focus on education, hospitals, building institutions for his people, training and recovering the psychology of his people. Something that Dessalines attempted to do. Although he's more of a military man and preparing for future invasions, Ibrahim's program is much deeper. And once again, it's a potential for other leaders to follow that example. And you're starting to see them follow suit in Senegal, recently in South Africa, and other places of the globe. Africa is waking up, especially that major protest on April 30th, where our African people here in the U.S., African people in Jamaica, IT, all over the world who understand that this is our moment to really get out of their thumbs and really build a power base, not just in the continent, but wherever you're at.
Many have compared Ibrahim Traoré to Thomas Sankara, right? What are the key similarities and differences in their philosophies and leadership styles? And is there anything Traoré can do to avoid the fate Sankara met?
Much like Dessalines, they understand that they're the servant of the people. They are the protector of the people. And many of the incompetent leaders, especially the one we have right now, don't understand that because they want to cater to their own ego. They want to continue lives. And of course, they are not serving the people. And that's important. You don't become a leader or a king just boost your own ego or to lavish yourself in wealth. You are there to not only protect the people, but build them back up and to protect them for future generations and to push them to the next frontier. And that's what he represents. That's what Thomas Sankara represented. Let's look at some of the programs that he did. Not only would he charge his people to plant 10,000 trees, but also, once again, charge them to grow their own food, produce their own food. Why is it a nation that has everything they need? Why is it that they have to, once again, import food from other nations and export their food? It makes no sense. And once again, Dessalines understood that. He's put the population between those who have land, which is why he said every citizen will have land in IT, and those who will be soldiers. And just recently, Ibrahim Traoré has a program for the youth to give them national pride, but also train them, give them military training. Once again, those at the high school and college level, which is important because, once again, every citizen should be prepared for war because the enemy will not stop. We've seen the same playbook in IT and other places of the globe. And once again, he's not going to fall for that trap. He will not be done dirty like Thomas Sankara or Dessalines. And we won't allow it.
I think that what I'm noticing is that, man, like I think with social media, yeah, it has its very negative aspect, but it has a very positive aspect. And what I'm noticing is that more people who are unaware of colonialism, unaware of the game, are learning about it indirectly, even if they don't want to because it's on their feed. So I think that's the beauty of it. And I won't say it's impossible, but I think it's harder to assassinate a person now because it's harder to push that mainstream narrative when you have so many other people explaining what's really going down.
I agree, but it could also be a double-edged sword.
Explain.
And of course, I have my critiques of Gaddafi, but once again, there was a social media campaign the U.S. used to take out Gaddafi, especially if they get to the youth. So if our youth are not reading, because oftentimes you have a lot of young people who are citing dead philosophers or reading memes that they never read. So if you don't know the source, and I believe there should be a balance between, of course, technology and social media. You know, once again, it's undeniable. It's not going to go away. But there needs to be a balance where, once again, they're dealing with the oral traditions, dealing with the primary text, while also, once again, disseminating that information from those who may be in further proximity from themselves. So once again, that's the power of media. That's the power in which we are able to interact with different African people. But this is where ideology is going to be key. And there's numerous ideologies floating on in the matrix right now. So we have to be careful.
What lessons should Traoré learn from Sankara's legacy?
Once again, the points of building agriculture to produce a people, the importance of living in complementarity with nature, the importance of what he just recently established in terms of returning to our own African systems. And of course, I believe there's going to be an opportunity to return to our spiritual systems. But most importantly, education. I think one of the issues facing many of our people, especially in the West, is that we need a deep psychological educational revolution to get our minds back. Because this is why memory is important. I always emphasize on memory because we don't have a memory of our history. There's a reason why in this country they want us to have historical amnesia. They don't want you to know, be educated. They don't want you to know, have knowledge of the past, not just in terms of this country, but even in the world, especially amongst African people. So once you have that memory, as once again dictated by Thomas Sankara, as well as another program that he had that I also see with Ibrahim Traoré, is complementarity with women. How we have to be on the equal playing field with women, but also women should have opportunities to once again fulfill their roles. Recently, he's made healthcare free for women who are pregnant, which should be normal, right? Why should a woman who's pregnant pay to bring a life into this world?